Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Weekly Wave. My name is Matt Waters, and this is episode 74. Also, I'm repping this Mike Moralski t-shirt. Shout out to my man for playing the Muse a couple weeks ago. But hey, this week we got my man Adam Lee of Sundae Drives. He's a beautiful human being, a wonderful friend, and you'll find out a little bit more about him right now. Let's do it. Bounty hunter? Why you got the belt clip and everything?
It's a dad clip.
It's a dad clip.
So listen, the day I got this, oh man. I bought this expensive ass case. It was when this phone first came out. It was the brand new fucking, flagship Samsung and shit.
Okay, okay.
So
I was waiting for you to say that dirty word, dog. Samsung.
I know. You guys fucking hate. You Android haters.
Dude, I am an Android hater, you know?
Yeah, no, I know how y'all get, man. Y'all motherfuckers, Apple motherfuckers are serious. Like, I'm team Android for life. But anyways, so you know what I mean? I'm getting this new Galaxy. I think I'm fucking cool shit because no one had. I mean, it's the Plus. It's fucking all of the good stuff, right? And I hit a lick, so I bought it in cash, and I got this case, and I wanted this case, and I saw this. It came with it, and I said, "Bro, I don't need that thing." And they were like, "Oh, well, it comes with it." And I said, "No, I don't think it does." And it was separate.
Almost ask him to take it
Yeah,
back.
Exactly. And I was like...
And they're like, "Have you fathered child?" And you're like, "Yes."
Right. I'm like, well, I'm definitely not going to use it, so you don't have to put it in there. And they put it in there, so I'm putting my shit together in the car, and my wife is like, "Yeah, it's called a dad clip." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, it's called a dad clip." And I was like, "Oh." And it just changed everything. So I went home and I walked in and I was wearing it. I haven't worn it like that.
Snapped in.
I haven't worn it like that since, but I wore it like I came in like I'm somebody's dad up in this mother. And I parented the shit out of my kids that day. Fathered the shit out of them.
Dude, that's hardcore, and I'm glad it has raised your capacity to parent. But you were a pretty great dad before that. But
well,
let's just call it a DILF snap, okay?
You know what I'm saying? Ooh.
Well, let's kick this thing off in style. Ladies and gentlemen, guess who it is? This is Mr. Adam Lee of Sundae Drives. Baby, how you doing?
How are you, sir? Thank you so much for having me, man.
Dude, I'm delighted that we could keep it on the schedule. Like, I always ask people at the worst times to pull out their calendars and, like, let's just pick a date and try it. But, you were determined, I was determined, and it's not often that we get to see each other outside of a gig. So a very special occasion.
I agree, man. I'm super glad to be here. And you're right what you just said because, I love your energy and I know we're great friends. But a lot of times, we see each other in a certain format. Yeah. So, it's nice to just be here and just, cooking up with you, man. So that's what's up.
Absolutely, brother.
Yeah.
The other thing that's, as a friend, as a peer, as a colleague in this scene, you're always someone that as soon as I see you, we just start gassing each other up, man. It's a love session from the get. And then you're telling me your kids are coming to the show and they're excited to hear a song or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like, man, the encompassing support that has come from you and your friends and in Cincy East Side is so real. It's a hotbed for sweet musical love, man.
It really is. And on the subject of my children, they love you.
Thank you.
My oldest daughter thinks you walk on water, my friend. My kids are getting older. I was a baby when I had babies, so like I still feel like I'm young and hip, but like my kids, I'm not really young and hip to them.
Check you on that.
You know what I'm saying? Right. So, but you are hip to them. So if they're very choosy about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
About what gets play in their ride. So
and I'm sure also it's like, if someone's your dad's friend, it's not like you gravitate to that for any certain reason, okay? It's
right.
Like we were talking about, with any audience, you're going to get a fair kick, but maybe it fits in someone's life, you know? And that's really cool because those are my friends of proximity. Your family will have a place in my life always. It's same with so much of our scene. And it's cool that we're going to have this generation that steps up and looks around, and because of their parents being involved in the arts, they appreciate the arts.
Well, I couldn't agree more. I love you for even saying that. And you know what? It's funny. My daughter doesn't even follow Sundae Drives on Spotify, but I catch her streaming Matt Waters. You know what I mean? so I give a shit about that. But anyways,
in the same way that Noah has to always bring up that Candace just loves Sunday drives.
Yeah.
Like,
well, my wife loves See When the Funnies and
Yes.
Taylor Shannon and you know what I mean. So it's like,
also, go grab the new Taylor Shannon T-shirt, please. That just dropped.
Yeah.
It looks so fire, and it was a great reason out of nowhere to remember a musical legacy that is beyond legend in our community. It is fuel for the better, man.
It's
I know
really,
that was your boy. But.
Yeah, that's really important to it's really important to talk about and to just sometimes just casually. It doesn't have to be anything super crazy or super deep and serious, but sometimes just casually remind people of somebody who was so special and important, not just to the East Side, but just to the Cincinnati music scene in general.
Mm-hmm.
He was he's the most rock star person I've ever met. When you think about what a rock star is, just organically, authentically, naturally, just a born rock star. I mean, this is a cat who rode a Harley Davidson with a fucking Dalmatian on the back. Yeah, you heard me right. He rode a Harley Davidson with a fucking Dalmatian on the back.
What kind of precautions are there for this dog? Is it wearing a harness? Where's PETA at?
Right.
There's not dog seatbelts that we can put on.
Right.
That's a sidecar situation, I would feel.
Yeah, and he's always has a special, not just as one of my, not just as one of my very best friends in the entire world, but we all kind of have like a big homie in the game, and he was, he kind of showed me a lot. He's the first person to ever take me on a tour. He's the first person to, he showed me a lot of things, man. He showed me some serious ropes on how to move and how to navigate.
Yeah.
And he's just a person I just respected tremendously in the height of his career as a country artist, because he wasn't feeling it in his heart anymore. He didn't have the passion for it. Mm-hmm. Arguably the most successful country artist in our city for a while. You know what I mean? At the very height of his shit. Packing out rooms like Madison Theater and Woodward, 5, 6, 7, 800 people. Him.
Yeah.
So at the height of that, he gave it all away and left it all to start a 3-piece punk band.
Is that Smoke Parade?
Yeah, he walked away from everything to just, like, there's nothing more rock and roll than that. And he is just a fantastic artist and a wonderful human being. So.
Well, it's cool to feel the lineage in that, and when you start to step on the road with somebody, you spend those hours in the car, and it's pretty much, in our occupation, it's pretty much the quickest way to try to understand somebody's set. It's one thing to go see your show, but to hear what you put on the radio, getting ready for that show, tells me way more. And in the places that we go to, just in the conversations, like that is the bond of musicians that people don't understand.
Yeah.
It's like you can talk about stage time, but you want to talk about car time.
Van time, man.
Yeah,
van
these
time.
sick puppies.
Rental time. I always
Enterprise time.
Enterprise time, bro. Come on.
It hurts. There we go.
On.
That's what I'm talking.
That's how that's where me and Nick did a lot of our bonding in the early days, was Enterprise time, and it's crazy because the conversations and the things that happen in those vehicles are things that could probably lose you a lot of friends and supporters. But
you can't be a fly on the wall to that kind of vulnerability and intimacy that does. It explores the worst parts of the mind. That's what we need to air with each other. Like, the reason we go up there and scream is not because our lyrics are beautiful. It's because everything else we said was so fucked up that this just came out right. You got to get that out.
No, you find out what you're made of, on the road. And I'm very fortunate. I count my blessings. I got to spend quite a bit of time with Taylor in that setting. Mm-hmm. Anywhere, just places from Chicago to Nashville to Detroit to Put-in-Bay to fucking college parties in Bowling Green. you know, some really cool experiences. So, but yeah, you're right. You find out, you know, what you're kind of made of.
And those things that you say about him, the reverence that you hold your friend in, those are qualities that you get through osmosis, man. You know, you won't say it, I'll say it. You're a rock star. You know, you carry that aura, and you believe it to your core. And like we were talking about, and sorry everybody, we have this bad habit of starting the podcast before we start the podcast, but we were talking about how when you're an artist, you were gonna feel, you were gonna know something in just these deeper parts of your mind that you need to manifest in a tangible way.
Yeah.
You know, whether that's the song you sing, the lyrics you write, the music videos you shoot, down to the album art. You know, and these things, when you crave the outcome that you get, it is the purest ecstasy. Like that is why we do it.
Yeah.
But when you don't, and you have to step up to bat again, that's what makes legends, man.
I agree, man. There's nothing like a little bit of adversity and having to conquer it as a team. Mm-hmm. There's nothing like it. You know what I mean? There's nothing like in some of the earliest times that Nick and I were on the road together. I know how I behave on the road, and Nick knows how he behaves on the road. He's a vet. Mm-hmm. But we don't have a lot of road time together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But in the early days, we both realized early on that, like, we'll sleep on a stranger's living room floor.
Yeah.
I'll do that. Oh, you'll do that too? Well, I guess it's getting put to the test tonight. Yeah. You know.
What a crazy thing to, you know, however many years you're into this, as poorly as that can go, you know, sleeping on a stranger's floor, as many things as can happen here, the friendships you will forge because of that are ridiculous. Like, we just played this club on Friday night in Aberdeen, North Carolina. I found this on DIY tour postings on Facebook, one of my favorite group pages, man. Okay. I go on there and I just spam them with the kindness and see what we get.
Yeah.
They bring us down. They sell out 2 shows for us. Never seen us before. Okay,
wow.
They sold out the first show. They sold out this last one.
Oh, wow.
They find beds for us in their homes, in their parents' homes.
I love it.
We're on the street. We have breakfast with them and their kids. It's like, yeah, there's certain aspects of unpredictability that you take your hands off. You say whatever happens here happens here. You know, I'm prepared for the worst, and you come up being part of someone's world like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah. No, I 100% agree. I was telling you earlier, my bestest friend Molly, who, listen, sometimes those relationships manifest themselves at a point in your life where I'm not looking for a new fucking best friend.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But it just fucking happens, man. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, Molly is a person who I met her at a fucking show. She's a lot of things. She's fucking done A&R work for fucking I don't know, record labels, and you know, she's a photographer and a fucking kindergarten teacher and a lot of things. But I met her playing music in Nashville, Tennessee, you know, just passing through on a tour, just one night. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I've been on family vacations. Like, my wife and I have drove fucking 5 hours to take her a fucking pot of chili. Like, that's no joke. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I drove to the fucking Smoky Mountains on her birthday to take her a pot of chili. Like, so you never know. One night, you know what I'm saying? It's my fucking, you know what I'm saying? So,
and it's cool you say that, because, you know, in a lot of ways, you acquire friends like that. You acquire bandmates like that. People acquire their life partners. There's this moment for all of us where you become the underdog of your own story, and you say that I am enough for me to need nothing but be open to everything. And when you give the universe that kind of access to project you, man, then you can be really deserving of it, you know? Like, we have all these expectations of what we should have and what we should do and what we should get. And at some point you just got to start clearing that nonsense out of your life and just do what you do in an absolute sense.
Yeah. That's really well put, man. Yeah, you know, that really is.
I have a few questions that are pertinent today, and most of them are not. So we should just go off the rails whenever need be.
Okay.
But my first is, and double-sided. When did you find the guitar, and when did that instrument like really find you? You know, when did it pop?
Yeah. Getting serious.
Please. Very astute of you.
So growing up, my dad and my mom were always really supportive of I'm fogging up, man. I don't think it's gonna work. I'm steamy.
Keep it humid down in this basement, baby.
Have you guys ever been in Matt's vicinity? Like, not in a club where there's a lot of people around and you don't know where that energy's coming from, but like a one-on-one with Matt, there's some pretty serious vibrations. So,
it's the caffeine. You shaking, boo.
So, I have to say, man, Art was openly invited at my mother's house and my dad's place, wherever, we moved a lot. Both parents moved a lot, but wherever it was, Art was always invited, and music especially. And although my dad I never got a lesson, still to this day, you know what I mean, which is probably harmful and helpful at this point, but we always had access to instruments from the earliest times, even though my dad would literally buy fucking guitars from the pawn shop and just bring them home and just expect us to make noise with them. My mom would do the same, you know what I mean? My mom's bought us keyboards and fucking microphones and, fucking... Here's an amp. Play these drums with that amp. I'm like, the drums don't plug into the amp. You know what I'm saying? It was that kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? Harmonicas, all kinds of shit. So
it's like supplying the chaos of a young child's mind, man.
I'll tell you what, dude. Like, if I fucking left crumbs on the counter, I could maybe you know what I'm saying? My dad might bitch or moan about that, or maybe I tracked in some mud. My mom might bitch or moan about that. But if you were playing music at fucking midnight on a fucking Tuesday, you were cool. That was one thing that my dad would never tell you to turn down, or my mother. You know what I'm saying?
That's special.
It is. You know what I'm saying? Looking back on it,
yeah.
You know what I mean? They had a different way maybe of encouraging it, but so I was always fond of different instruments and just making noise on them. And I think I became, I was, in fucking thrash metal bands and shit in high school, or, bands in fucking junior high even, rap groups and all kinds of shit. But I think that I became attached to the guitar, and I felt like, okay, this is something different. I was in the penitentiary for the second time, and there was a cat in my dorm that had an acoustic guitar. Yeah, you could. Yeah, you can.
That's
have,
amazing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you can have guitar. Now, I don't think some things have changed now, but I think now there's like a lot of paperwork and a lot of shit you have to go through. But back then, you basically just had to. Your people could buy it. There was like a 90-day period out of the year that there was a list of things that your people could buy for you, and an acoustic guitar, a 6-string acoustic guitar, was one of them. And a cat in my dorm had one. And from playing guitar out on the streets, you know what I mean? It was like something I couldn't wait to play, but I didn't really hit it off with dude. I tried to make friends with him kind of on some fake shit, kind of. Not fake shit, but like... but then something sad happened. He did let me play his guitar a few times, and it felt like home. And he ended up, it was short-lived because he ended up getting diagnosed with colon cancer. And things got really weird after that, where he didn't want to even touch people or people touching his things, immune system shit. So it was completely out, where his guitar used to, the reason I got to play it is because it would get passed around in circles. and I would make sure I was part of the circle. You know what I'm saying? Just to get my, 90 seconds in. Oh, pass it on. You know what I mean?
For sure.
But through that, a homie who saw me doing that in my home dorm told one of his people that was in a different building, and we ended up having some mutual acquaintances out here on the streets, and he was not just kind, but so kind to let me borrow his guitar, which you have to have a like a pink slip you would have for a car. You know what I'm saying? That's what you have for your property. And I obviously didn't have that. Now he did, but meaning if I got caught with it, not in his dorm, that it could be taken away. Not only did he bring it to the yard for me once a week for my entire time.
Yeah.
When it got cold outside, he let me take it into my dorm, which is like, you're literally chancing your guitar getting taken away.
Yes.
But he really fucked with me that much, and he believed, I don't know if he believed it, but he knew it was that important to me that he chanced his own guitar, and when you're locked up, what you have is what you have, you know what I mean? So it's pretty crucial. And he chanced that every single week. And I would get the guitar for an hour and a half a week.
That's amazing.
Yeah. By myself in my own little world for an hour and a half every week. You know what I'm saying? On a Monday, today's Monday, I would get the guitar for an hour and a half every Monday. And I started writing songs that felt different. And I just felt a different attachment. I felt something therapeutic. Just different. It just felt, you know what I mean? So I would say that's the time that, around that time period.
How old were you when that happened?
18, 19.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you kind of been playing up until this point. You said this was the second time you gone in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So had you been playing, during that intermittent time whenever you were home still? Or did you kind of put it down at any age?
Yeah. No, I played. I was doing all the wrong things in life. So, you know what I mean? Like, if you have like a habit and that's your number one thing, well, then music can't be your number one thing. Music has to be your number 4, 5, or 6 thing, probably. You know what I'm saying? So even though I did love music and there are CDs out there, fucking cassette tapes, even. I've done all kinds of wacky shit. And I was always making music. But it was never, it was something that people cheered me on to do, but maybe not something that, like, I took super serious, just something I enjoyed, but it could never be number one for me, so it just wasn't taken serious, you know what I mean? Yeah.
And what was that first song you wrote that felt different? Do you still know that?
I do know that, yeah. Yeah, it's a song called Jail Time Credit.
I've heard this one time.
Yeah. It's on streaming platforms.
Okay.
It's a variation of it.
Okay.
Because a lot changes, you know what I mean? A lot changes. But yeah, that was it was the first song that I ever wrote in the penitentiary that I said, shit, this is a song. This has a fucking 2 verses and a chorus and an outro. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, I just wrote a fucking this. You know what I mean? I'm not diddy bopping. Like, this is like this is my heart and soul here. You know what I mean? And lyrically, it's I'm talking that shit. You know what I mean? It's got some serious substance to it. And that also felt different. You know what I'm saying? That also, there was a part of that was felt real selfish for me in a good way. You know what I mean? It felt it felt like I was doing something for myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah,
that's incredible, man.
Yeah.
And did you ever play did you play that song for this cat that let you borrow the guitar?
Of course.
Cool.
Oh my God.
Cool. Dude, what a moment.
Saw it go from a guitar riff to a whole fucking song. And then that song became popular on the yard. Became popular with the homies.
So is this like the first time like you're stepping up on a regular basis and playing for people?
No.
Okay.
No, it's not the first time. It's the first time where it was more important to me, or as important to me. I mean, I grew up playing at fucking keg parties and raves and all kinds of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily know if that was doing anything for my heart. You know what I'm saying? That was just a party. You know what I'm saying? Or just...
It was your contribution.
Yeah, man. Go rock and roll. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But this was some different shit. And what I was singing about, and you know what? Just the emotive action that goes into making a song with such deep substance is even the way I'm strumming the fucking guitar. It's to this day, I'm not a great guitar player. I'm not even probably what you consider a good guitar player, but I'm an emotional guitar player. And it's from shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm saying those 7 or 8 cats knew every lyric by the time I left. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't just feel the lyrical substance. They fucking, they felt probably all of it. You know what I'm saying? The lyrics, I'm sure, helped it, but you know what I'm saying? And that's just from, you have so very little. You know what I'm saying? So look forward to that kind of shit.
That's really incredible, man. And like in terms of playing for an audience, like there's less entertainment to go around, I would assume. Like there's less things to occupy the mind and the time. So when one of your friends steps up in the same way that you contributed before, but now you're feeling this person, in the way that you always do, bare their fucking soul, and not only you're an emotional guitar player, you're fully committed to what's going on sonically, what's coming out of you. It's all one thing. It's so intertwined that when they get to be a part of that, in the same way that your bandmate, Mr. Nick Heffron, loves when those moments click. These guys that aren't practicing with you, but took the time to know those words, because when their line comes up, they get to click in for a second, man. That is powerful.
Yeah.
Have you ever stepped back in voluntarily to play for folks that are in a similar place that you were?
Yeah, I have. Before the pandemic, I think when you write about what I write about, I think that you can't talk about some of the shit I talk about and not live it. You know what I mean? Like, you can't talk this talk but not walk any of it. So I can't sing about the shit that I sing about and then never go donate my time at a rehabilitation center with people who have fucking less than 90 days sober time. So I've done plenty of that. You know what I'm saying? And before the pandemic, I had a schedule even where I was finding different places and different times where I was able to go do it. And I actually felt like my name was buzzing a little bit. It's always buzzing around in the county jails, in the prisons, in the recovery community and places like that. But I'm talking about amongst like staff and shit. Like other places we're hearing about this cat who will come through and on Sunday during rec and play some songs for you know what I mean, for the inpatients. So but yeah, I was getting to do that, and I'm not doing any of it now. There is a relapse prevention class that I was co-hosting bi-weekly. And again, just kind of due to the pandemic, I'm not doing any of that consistently either. But that's all shit that I like to get my hands dirty with, though.
Yeah, man. That's any way that you can give back, and in a lot of ways, this art form is all about giving back. But you reach certain aspects of humanity in certain ways, and other ways you just can't. Like when I play a set at Kroger's, I'm playing for the kids and the families that I would never get to play for because they're not coming to the club I'm going to be at. That's an absurd thought.
Good for you.
Well, that's a little thing. I'm getting paid to play at Kroger's. It is good for me. It's a great gig. It's comfy. But, to give your time in a hospice, in the retirement villages, in places where people need this break from it all.
Well, that's why I said good for you, because you said these kids are, but you know who your affected audience is. You know what I'm saying? You just said yourself, like, they're not the people who are going to be at the clubs or whatever. Well, that's good to know. You know what I'm saying? That's good for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. it's good to be in places where you may not fit in a classical sense, but
Absolutely.
fuck it, there's live music, man.
Yeah.
So every once in a while when I play at this Krogi, there's this kid that he lives in one of the neighborhoods around there. He always comes and listens to my set. I gave him a CD on the first time he came back knowing shit. He likes to play the drums, so I set up a little loop. I hand the sticks over, and we get after it.
Fuck.
And people come down the wine aisle. They're like, what is going on?
That's
and it's
incredible.
me and this 11-year-old just jamming hard, both eyes closed, no idea what's going on. Like, that's a different kind of free, man.
Yeah, man, that's fucking incredible. Yeah. I love to hear that. There was this spot I was going to in New Richmond, and or I shouldn't even say that. There was a spot I was going to, and there was a lady that was part of the staff, who I don't think cared for my participation. And maybe it wasn't necessarily that she didn't care for me, but she didn't think that it was maybe the inpatients deserved to have that, which is a different conversation. But she approached me, and she said, and this is after, fucking several weeks, probably 5 or 6 weeks. So at this point, it's a thing that they look forward to and that I look forward to even. I was actually skipping Sunday dinners, skipping Monday dinners, whatever I could do to go make this work. And, but yeah, this lady pulled me to the side straight up. And, she, you could tell she probably had she had that like CO syndrome, or that syndrome of being that authoritative. She probably goes home and talks to everyone like how she talks to these inpatients. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she said, but she was honest with me, and she said, I don't get it. I don't understand how you could possibly be making them happy if you're coming in here and singing sad songs. And it's, you come in here and sing these. She had a word for it, slumber. Somber. Yeah. You come in here and play these somber songs. I don't know how you could possibly be affecting their attitude, their uplifting, whatever. And
well, Mr. Rogers ain't fucking coming in. Like, what,
But that's exactly what was happening. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what was happening. And it's really not so much me, it's us. It's a fucking communal thing, man. That's the fucking power of music and art and community. And that's the power of having someone come in and treat you with such fucking humility that just for fucking 40 minutes, we wipe away all of this. You're a patient and I'm a doctor and you're a nurse and I'm a this. And so for 40 minutes, we just get to be people, just enjoying each other as people. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, she didn't understand that, which is fine. But that is exactly what's happening. I might have been playing the somber songs and the sad songs, but they were happy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They were happy because we were sharing something. You know what I'm saying? We were having a fucking moment, man. So
and to come back after someone says something like that, like there's a lot of heinous things people can say to you before, during, after your set that can throw the mojo of wanting to do this so far off course.
Yeah.
And it takes, members of our families, our kin to say like, shut up to get back out there. I get that it's gonna be unpleasant in a lot of regards, and there's plenty of bad gigs to be had and plenty of great gigs, and there's something about I know for you that this is your greatest vice. This is the thing that you will do to the day you die, because it's so much a part of you.
It is in me, not on me.
Yeah. As much as we scrub you with the Clorox wipes, man, we'll get the tattoos off first before we get the music out, baby.
That's a fact, man. I love that.
Yeah. So what's it like to be at this point in the Sunday Drives journey where you've brought in, a second half?
Yeah.
You were whole, and now you are.
Well, I wasn't. Yeah, that's the thing.
And only you know that.
Yeah.
As a fan, it's like I thought I knew what Sunday Drive sounded like.
Okay.
And then there's this reintroduction.
Yeah.
And, in the same way that we're talking about pulling people through the mediums of what you thought to what they see and hear and touch and understand.
Yeah.
To hear these elements now come out of the band.
Yeah.
Is incredible.
I appreciate that so much, man. Yeah, it's like it's not advertised on a billboard, but I was looking for Nick for a decade. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? For fucking 8 years, I was looking for Nick. And if you know the history of SD, it's never been about Adam Lee or Nick Heffron or anybody.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of people in and out. No one has ever had the other key to the apartment. Nick is the only person who's ever had the fucking keys to the fucking whip. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And Sunday Drives originally started as an idea and a thing between me and my brother. Who my brother is away for a long time. He's kind of on the semi-permanent vacation. And so he never got to see any fruition, right? But I always knew my partner is out there somewhere. The other half of what this is supposed to be. The other half of the band. Who... Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah.
These things happen.
They do. We got up to that point for sure.
This is the time where I just hit my vape.
Yeah, just hit your vape. Let me turn the flashlights on. Okay. How crazy.
I mean,
video's still rolling. That's
how often does this happen here?
Never.
Because this happens in my neighborhood quite a bit, but I used to live about 5 miles down the street and never happened.
Really?
Yeah, and then I moved 5 miles up the street. It happens all the time.
It's definitely like confusing to me how power gets to a house in the first place.
Yeah.
Let alone how you sustain it during a fat storm.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was very unusual. If you don't mind, I'm gonna take that second to go up and get another cup of coffee.
Absolutely.
Do you need anything?
No, I'm golden, man.
And sincerely, man.
I'll jump in on Nick.
You all good, baby. You all good. You know, there's a lot of things that go through my head during a blackout.
Yeah.
And most of them remind me that in terms of like overall survival, I stand no chance. I've watched enough Man vs. Wild to know like I'm definitely fucked.
Really?
You didn't love that show?
Okay, so I'm not hip to Man vs. I know I'm not. I'm hip to it. I know what it is.
Discovery at some point, you know.
Yeah, I know what it is, but I've never watched. I've never caught any episodes. But are you hip to The Walking Dead?
I have never watched The Walking Dead,
bruv. So there's a sick part of me that wants to live in that world because I think I would be good. I think that I could do okay in a zombie apocalypse. I think I have a little bit of the cockroach resilience to... I do. You know what I'm saying? I think I do a little bit.
Hold on to that, because Cockroach Resilience is like the gnarliest punk album you can ever make.
That is definitely the name of a sophomore... of a punk band sophomore album.
So, if you were going to go into the apocalypse, next week, what's your 10-step plan? 10's a lot of steps, but we're talking about survival to the fittest, baby.
I don't know if we have the time for it. For one, you have to care about so few people. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If we're talking about actual survival, like humility and humanity kind of have to go out the window. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Like, it has to just be you and yours, like you and your tribe. And when I say tribe, like very small.
Yes.
Like, so there is like you do have to kind of like probably tap into like kind of a pretty cold place. Mm-hmm.
That's if society doesn't make it. Like, the apocalypse could start and we could still have societal structure. You could skinny up into friends and family in, what do you think the sweet spot of a community in the apocalypse is? Are you saying 10 tops? Are you saying...
I'm saying 3 or 4.
What about me and my Facebook friends? 2,000 something.
No way.
Come on, dog.
No fucking way.
All right,
no way.
My top 4?
Maybe.
Okay, cool. No pets?
Yeah, pets are okay.
Depends on what they do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. No Facebook friends.
Okay, yeah, fair.
You know what I mean? No Facebook friends. Because you might meet some people that you can like maybe get a compound going with. You know what I mean?
Depends on what they bring to the table, though. You know,
fucking depends on what they bring, and then even then, maybe it's worth just killing them and taking it.
That's an interesting thing, you know,
because you have to feed you and yours.
Yeah,
it's just, you know what I mean. It's some cutthroat shit.
It definitely cutthroat, and it brings up a lot of like weird questions, like. And, you know, like, the apocalypse is not a great daily thought to worry about.
Right,
but, like, it keeps you honest as to what things matter in this. Like, I know if there's going to be, like, a nuke drop, like, I hope I'm on the dime. Because I don't want to see the back end of that kind of thing. Yeah. Woo. So, like, in the apocalypse, like, you could either kill and take, or you're like, okay, maybe we do, like, this condo village kind of a deal. And if someone goes AWOL... Either we take care of that as a group or we fall apart. I don't really know. I hope it's when I'm not looking. You know what I mean?
I think,
a coward's death.
I think you have to stay mobile and stay. I think you have to tap into some real nomadic shit. And I think you have to stay on the move, because I think setting up shop is just a fucking bad idea.
So we're buying Subarus.
You know what I'm saying? That's a Subaru commercial for fuck sure.
Okay, that you got a really good point. If we could sell The Walking Dead as a commercial to the Subi community, I mean...
And listen, you know how in the Subaru commercial there's always like, it's always a generational thing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So this could be like 40, 60 years into the apocalypse, and these, you know what I mean? Yeah. And the granny's telling her grandson, like, you know, here we are. The world's even crazier and shittier, but we got here, you know, we survived.
Yeah, like
because of the Subaru.
What's the tank at? Like, still at a quarter tank?
Right.
Reliable, baby.
Right.
Is it going out again? Oh, now I'm watching screens because the storm's about to blow us out.
Yeah, you guys missed that, man.
Got dark quick.
It did. We were sitting in the dark for a minute.
But that's what happens when you have a Sandwich Jones show on the horizon, man. Like, you got to close up the stars because this man's about to come out guns ablaze and shining bright, baby. How long's it been? I'm
really excited for him. He's only ever played under the John Wayne Gretzky banner, under that name, under that alien or
sounds like his real name. That's
So he's only played two other shows on a stage, solo acoustic by himself, and we all know Sandwich Jones as a brilliant photographer and videographer mainly, and he's in a metal band, and he's just a wildly dumbass talented person, just.
One of those couldn't keep his hands out. Just goes down the rabbit hole and gets a hold.
Stupidly intelligent, just vast wealth of fucking knowledge on some of the most absurd shit and some of the most just shit that will blow your mind. That you're just like, wow, dude, you're fucking, you know some shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's playing tonight. Shout out to Sandwich Jones. And I love him because, he shared with me. Don't be mad. He shared with me that he was nervous. Mm-hmm. I find that interesting, not in a way of like I can't believe it, but just as in a way of like, this is a dude who films and videos weddings and big fucking concerts, and he's done comedy skits and just all kinds of shit. Mm-hmm. So he's always been, he's comfortable behind the lens, you know what I mean? And now, he's going to be on a stage by himself, lighting,
Just a very different role, and you know that well of, like, what it's like to be up there by yourself. It's so different than if you're used to the band environment.
Really is.
Like, if you don't have a number two to bounce ideas off of, even sequencing the set is a headache, Yeah. It's you get in your own thoughts about, should I do this one versus that one at this point or that point? And at some point, you just got to be there and run it like you said you're going to run it,
Yeah. It's fucked up because the few times over the last couple years that I've played a set without the other half of the band, there have been a couple parts in the set where I was really confident and I was like, oh, fuck, you still got it. You know what I mean? You can do this solo YOLO, like, if you fucking had to for a night. You can do this, you know what I'm saying? But then there's also been times where I'm just like, dude, I just want Nick so fucking bad, dude, because I'm like, I know what this is supposed to be, and I feel fucking, you know what I mean? And it's not really even about me, but it's just like, sonically, dynamically, emotionally, everything that he brings to the table, again, not even about Adam or Nick, but just, there's part of it missing, you know what I mean? There's fucking part of it. So, but I've only played a couple sets, and Nick's played a couple Sunday Drive sets without me as well. Yeah, so, those are things that every now and then you might have to do, but...
For sure. Well, it's good when you leave the space, you see things in the space that you did not before. It's like open canvas. Like, sometimes you need to paint in that little bit. Sometimes you need the background to shine through. And there's something cool about music that there is this open air canvas. You have sonic interaction between the frequencies that come from your guitar and your voice that... When you put a second voice in there, harmony can be enhanced. If we have the crest of two waves, we will double the amplitude. But if we have the crest and like the bass in these waves, we're going to negate. Yeah. So it's just cool the way that this physical realm that we get to play in can show you all these things about yourself, especially when you start pumping it like 80 dB, like you have this room like kicking hard, man. Right. You had some people just in silence. Breathing that same air, digging what's going on, but actually being surrounded by this sound, like that's so special.
I like emotionally, I've always known how to captivate and pour my heart out, and give you some private and I'm looking for a word. I've always kind of known how to dig that out of myself and be vulnerable. But with Nick, sonically, emotionally, everything that he brings to the table, across the board, he's such a fucking vet. He just doesn't have any shortcomings. And what needs to be applicable at this time, and you know what I mean, what we should be focusing on at this time. I mean, talk about it. Just we throw around the word like musical soulmate and shit like that, but like it's my fucking other half, man. I mean, and he fucking gets me. You know what I mean? He really does. He fucking understands me, and he studied me like a fucking book, like a good fucking bandmate does. Like he's one of the fucking best bandmates you could ever fucking. We all have our little shortcomings, but holy shit, man, he's got very fucking few. Like he's an incredible, just ultra supportive, and just he fucking caters to me in the way that I like to create, and I like to bend for him as well. And we have if it all fucking if the fucking world explodes tomorrow, we have something special, you know what I mean, together, even if no one ever hears a second of Sunday Drives for the rest of eternity. I think him and I would still get in a room and make sounds together. For sure. If for nothing else than just therapeutic reasons, you know what I'm saying?
Well, when you find those folks, you're called to it. And there's friends that you play with in public, there's friends that you play with in private, and sometimes those worlds collide, but like there's something about making music together that's extremely special. And what I really like in this iteration of Sunday Drives, and when I first saw you, I was probably 18 playing at Southgate, and I walked upstairs and I didn't know what to think of you. You know, I was just so taken aback by...
It's kind of an acquired taste. It's not, you know, off rip, it's kind of not, you know, there's a lot of people that don't digest it super well the first time. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
Like,
well, I was thinking about it today and how I wanted to phrase it. And the best word I could think of it was evocative. Like it made you feel something. And because of that, like you said, sometimes it doesn't need to be a clap. It doesn't need to be a whisper. I just need you to sit with it. And I've sat with it for years now and loved you more because it is an acquired taste. So to see it now go into someone else's hands like that, you know, as a fan, it was evocative. I didn't know what to think of it. I didn't want to feel like what I loved about Sunday Drives was going to be overdone.
Sure.
You know? And for a guy that's clearly frontman capable like Nick is.
Oh, he's a frontman.
To step in on that band, I was like, I don't want to see anyone step on what I love about this.
A lot of people felt like that.
Yes. But he, like you said, he has taken you into maximum consideration. You know, you guys don't step on each other's toes in our eyes. You know, when you talk in your own personal lives, I'm sure when you look back on sets, it's like, here we could have done this, there you could have done that. You execute at a high level. But there's been enough time in the room to say, all right, you know I'm letting off. Put your foot on the gas. You know, you're driving the bus now. Here we go.
I think that because, you know, it's different when you're coming into listen, this was hard for Nick too. Nick didn't fucking join a band that was like getting off the ground. Nick joined a fucking established, I mean, I ain't shit. Sunday Drives ain't shit, but like it's an established band. It's been around for fucking years. It has a fan base.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It has, you know, it's a band that it's an act that is toured and released music and, you know, seen a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So it's like he's coming into that. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of people shared that sentiment. I'll tell you this. In the fucking 6, 7, 8 people that have been in and out for a show here, a fucking song here, a fucking ditty bop here, a run here, a whatever, Nick is the one fucking person that people came up to me and congratulated me. People who've been on this journey with me literally were coming up to me and saying, dude, I'm so happy for you. You fucking found it. Like, that shit felt good. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's, again, just, that's not an Adam or a Nick thing. People, that's a Sunday Drives thing. People are just fucking happy that, like,
that's hit.
That people who know the journey know that this band was always supposed to be a duo, know that there's not supposed to be 3 people or 5 or 7. We might go fucking get 7 people for a fucking choir show one day. Who knows? But I'm saying it was always supposed to be me and this other person. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of those people who felt that same sentiment and you know, showed me that and even expressed, you know, distaste and, you know, certain formats and, you know, people coming in and out. But I can honestly say not only has no one expressed that with Nick, but they've also, I've never seen a fucking fan base take to somebody so fast.
Yeah.
It's like he was never not here. You know what I'm saying? It's like he was fucking never not here, dude. It's almost fucking, and again, back to just Nick just being, you know, not just my brother and my bestest friend, but just such a fucking incredible, is he a wonderful person? Yes, but he's such just fucking really good fucking band member. I know what a good band member is. I know what a good person to work with is. And he is a person who gives a fuck about history. He's a person who cares about the history of this band. He takes it serious. He's like, yo, this is my fucking band. Like, and I love someone that takes ownership of something. So because of he's taking ownership of it, he knows all the fucking history. Listen.
Digs in the back catalog, calls for things.
Dude.
Makes calls that you wouldn't have taken.
Knows about all kinds of shit. No, dude, this motherfucker can tell you shows I played in 2016 that I can't remember. He can tell you lyrics to fucking, you know, songs that I haven't played and fucking, you know, he's always pushes me in that way. I told you, you know, we're getting ready to release a song that is I wrote the song 10 years ago. And in all transparency, I probably wouldn't release it. Mm-hmm. But he pushed, and he was like, this is a song he wasn't around for when it was wrote. You know what I'm saying? But just because he's a fan of the history of Sunday Drives, he's done all of his homework. So it matters to him. You know what I'm saying? And like, that's the fucking best thing you could ever imagine in a fucking band member, is like someone who's like, cares about like the legacy and like the entity of the baby. You know what I'm saying? Like the livelihood of the baby. But like, he pushes me to do shit, kind of get me out of my comfort zone on like, so like this is a song that I say has came and went, and he argues with me and says, no, this is actually timeless. And Peep, this is one of the songs that people fell in love with Sunday Drives for. So you fucking must. You must release it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You must. Like,
that's heavy, man. There's certain things that you can't know as the creator. You don't know what it's like to hear that song for the first time. You spat it out when it was a word at a time, a line at a time, a chord at a time, and went through all that disgruntlement. So when you look at the finished project, you remember all those ins and outs and questions and feelings, and that's so far from what someone else is going to absorb from that. So to have true partnership, to have a critic and a fan in that same person, and be so willing to get just the truth, so that this can take on a life of its own. Like, what would you say? What would you say the legacy of a song, means to you about this, and not just your own music, but the legacy of a song?
It's kind of changed over time. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's, I think those things change over time. I think that your reasoning for writing, or maybe the purpose behind, I think that there are songs in the Sunday Drives catalog that were so completely selfish and selfless, which is my favorite kind of art. And it's the art that I consider myself, the type of artist I consider myself to be. There's some songs that are so vulnerable and so personal to me, so therapeutic, that I needed to make them. Not for you. I fucking needed it. My fucking soul craved it. It craved the release. It craved... There's also something very selfless about that, though. So in a sense, it's selfish, but in another sense, I'm giving you everything. Mm. I really am. I'm giving you fucking everything. I'm giving you dark parts of me that I've never given anyone, and won't again. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I think that there's other songs, and that's the fucking beauty of songwriting and just creating art, is that the inspiration and the format, just depending on where you're at, it could be emotionally, spiritually, mentally, physically, it changes things, man. So there's songs that, how I just explained, that are, were built on that kind of substance. It's super fucking heavy for real at the core of it. And there are other songs that I wrote because I saw an episode of 48 Hours and it bothered me for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I couldn't get it off of me. It was sticking to me, so I wrote a song about it.
That's an awesome way of putting that, because I feel like that people don't know they're songwriters till they get the inkling and the calling and that vocation hits. And like that's a word from my Catholic upbringing that I could never shake. Vocation, something that you were called by the Creator to do.
Say it again.
Vocation. Your vocation is your call to be a parent. Your vocation is your call to play the role you do in this life. It is the essence of why. And if you can find a why in your life, you get to live on a level that is far more fulfilled than those who are lacking that understanding of why I get up in the morning and what I need to do.
Purpose, man. It's everything. Wow, that was incredible. That was really well put.
But you hit the nail on the head when it's like, I need to get this off of me. Sometimes it's digging into your own wounds and in this sadistic kind of way that needed it. You know, it's your own self-healing, or it's unraveling a fantasy, taking it from being this beautiful memory and trying to pick at it until you can find what makes it special. And by the end of you, it's probably not special. And then to make it even harder than that, you step into a vocal booth and you listen to yourself say that word for the 50th time on this line, and you fight it and you fight it. And there's something about these musical children, these songs that when you are called to get it off you, and then you're asked to display it for the world, man, is there something telling about that. It's like if you had morph suits you wore on different days and you let people see how dirty they are because you kept wearing them. I don't know what I'm talking about with that. That was I just want to bring up morph suits talk.
That's a Matt Waters analogy. No, there is a fucking bearing your soul. You know, there's a huge fucking bearing of your soul, and I guess you're all the way right about that. That's with anything, because I've come to respect people who, you know, you always, I don't want to use the word envy, but you definitely always admire and respect people who can do shit you can't do. And I've come to really admire and respect people where, you know, maybe even 5 years ago, I just wasn't at a place of growth where I respected it and admired it. But I've come to really respect people who can write a fucking fictional story about something that they know nothing about. They're just making shit up. And it's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I've really come to like really appreciate that, even though maybe that's not for me. Maybe I don't do that. We talked earlier. Maybe Sunday Drives doesn't come out and start the set guns blazing. Maybe that's not the strength for Sunday Drives. But I've really come to appreciate people who can, a lot of folk and country artists are really capable of writing songs in, through the eyes of someone else. It's fucking cool, man. It might not be for me, like, it's fucking rad. And it's super creative. You know what I mean? It really is. It's super creative. I had someone challenge me once, you know, and say, and you know, it was a little bit of a dig, but it was also kind of eye-opening. And they said, you know, if you're that creative, write a happy song. Write one that's genuinely happy. Write it. And I don't know if they were telling me that in like the positive way that I ended up taking it. And
yeah,
I still haven't got around to doing this, but I will. But I'm saying they're fucking right. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of creativity that goes into exercising your you know, your writing brain, man. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I've come to really appreciate that kind of stuff.
Man, and I love the idea of being given a task when it comes to songwriting, because it is personal.
So you do like that?
I do, because that kind of discipline will render, you know, it will bear great fruit on the days where the muse hits and the song comes. You know, my ability to write when I don't want to write is going to help my ability to do it when that moment hits and I'm just rapid fire.
Yeah.
And one thing I've gotten recently into, you know, by watching a guy like Noah, you know, be a part of your world, sitting in the room with other artists and saying, hey, you know, you're paying me for my time to be here. I'm going to tell you right now, I didn't like this lyric very much. If you love that lyric, we're keeping it. But if you're down for it, let's kick at that word. Let's kick the door and let's see if we can get the one that we need out. Because that's the part of songwriting that we're all, you know, not looking forward to, nitpicking and trying to get to that place of perfection. But when you get to be in someone's, you know, microcosm, like this little bit of song, this little bit of hurt or happiness that they needed, and you're just given the task, man, it makes things easier. It makes you so much more capable.
You know, in the case of a Noah Smith, who is, you know, maybe to some people, it's probably a fucking unlikely pairing with me and Nick bringing on a Noah Smith to kind of be the behind the scenes guy in our world when it comes to the project that we're doing now. You know, and we're slow, bits by pieces, you know, we're cranking shit out a few months, chilling out for a few months, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's kind of, but Noah is, there's few people that I look up to more than him. And that's really something that's happened in just like the last couple years. I've known Noah for a long time, but we've become really good friends, and I really respect and just admire him as an artist. And when I say artist, this is a guy who just Noah does what I think Noah does what a lot of people say they do, but he actually does it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people who, this is a cat who, he's got his fucking hands in everything. And it's all for the right reasons, man. It's because that's who he is as a fucking person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty fucking inspiring, man. He's an inspiring dude. And as far as just Noah's place with Sunday Drives and as a co-producer, producer, sitting in that chair, you know, Noah, he respects the history of Sunday Drives. He respects our style of songwriting and our style of creating. He respects how me and Nick work. And one thing that I want to say, if I could just say something about Noah, it's kind of like a testament. For us working with Noah, you know, a lot of this material doesn't need a chorus, or it doesn't need a jazzy verse written. A lot of, you know, this is solidified shit that that fans sing along to it. You know, you can't really be in here changing and switching shit up. You know, these are pieces. But I'll tell you one thing about Noah Smith that's special. He might not throw out 100 ideas. He might just throw out 5. But when Noah's talking, you shut the fuck up and listen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You shut the fuck up and listen. If Noah has an idea, it's probably a fucking good one. You know, and he doesn't waste his breath. He's not a person who talks to hear himself talk. He doesn't, you know, I've worked with people who, on the producer front, or just someone who's even playing something close to that role, you know, maybe like a cop who takes their job a little too seriously. Noah is not that cat. He genuinely wants to tap into whatever the bestest, coolest, greatest thing about you is, and he wants to tap into that. He's not a dude who is gonna try to throw out a bunch of ideas to say, hey, look, I came up with this. That's not him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? There's literally been, you know, a few, I won't go into detail, but there's been several songs where Noah, you know, he came up with fucking 1 or 2 ideas, very small ideas, ended up making the whole fucking song. You know what I'm saying? Like, ended up just being the fucking chef's kiss.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? He didn't have 50 suggestions. He didn't have 10 suggestions. He had 2. And they were fucking golden.
That's also that side of him where it's like, serve the song, man. All he wants to do is serve the song.
He's all about it.
And turn that mirror back so that people can know that this city is something to fuck with.
Yeah.
Forever. Yep. And we will surely show the world what's going on here in the Nasty Natty, baby.
I always, and our band, Nick and I both, 2 people that I always use as a quintessential example of just grinding and just getting it and really embodying what it means to really live your art. And that is Noah Smith and Matt Waters. And I really mean that. If they're you know, if that would be the advice that I would give to some up and comers, as I would say, watch these cats, keep an eye on these two cats right here. Just what they do, how they move. Follow them around, man. You know what I'm saying? Like these are the fucking cats that embody what this means. To really go for it. You know what I'm saying? And to really to enjoy this and to treat it as a blessing. Yeah, man, you guys. There might be some other people, but those are the two people that I always think of. You know.
Well, it's touching to hear that, man, and I admire you and Noah and the boys, the Funnies, as the artists that I want to surround myself with. And there's certain things that a Nashville or an LA or New York have to offer in terms of the economies of scale. You know, what the business around the scene can do to push the scene out into the public scope. And the more that we all talk, and the more that we share, and the more that we claim this city for what it is, an undeniable piece of musical history for everything that's come out of here before, but what's coming out of here right now is very special. And if there's anyone that should love and appreciate that, it's our neighbors, our friends and families. So we open up our own musical world so that someone else's kids might dig your song, or someone's wife might be obsessed with your band, and those people spend their weekends enjoying what we do.
This isn't to sound like an old head, but there are fewer and fewer artists being born and created into the world. There are fewer and fewer with, I'm not trying to be that guy or anything, but, there used to be days where you could sit in your room that you showed me, that's some fucking room that you're just some punk ass fucking teenage kid that just sat in there and played fucking guitar all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of life is hanging in the balance as far as these next generations. Less often are kids, they're doing other things. You know what I mean? They're fucking TikToking at fucking 3 years old. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we won't go into too much of a tangent, but I'm saying you just said something. It's so important for us to realize how special we are as a community and as a friend circle of artists and as peers, and to try to do anything we can to tap into those younger listeners, or the up-and-comers, or, you know what I mean, the next cats from our neighborhood. I'm someone who takes a lot of pride in my neighborhood and the people who have come out of my neighborhood. I take it real serious. There's something in the water around here, and I've been a few places, and I believe that the most talented people maybe ever, you know what I mean, are my friends. I fucking know them. They're right here.
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy. You know what I'm saying?
And they got to be close enough that, like, in the most positive way, the people that know I love them are the people that I'm going to say the most ridiculous shit to, you know, like the most brutally, like if you don't come up here and play me a song right now, like, I swear I'm gonna kick you in the ass.
Right.
There's honesty that comes along with loving your community, and we all need that to grow. And there are people that when I was a kid told me that you aren't shit, so get up here and keep trying. You know, like it's the same amount of, like, people rough you up for the right reasons,
yeah, man. Fuck
and,
yes.
And as much as there is fickle pursuits that, you know, the children of the next generation have to wade through their bullshit. I spent as much time on AIM and Facebook as any other kid my age, but I felt the rabbit hole of the guitar calling me in like a sweet sucker that I am, man. And I'm here for life.
So we got to inspire as many kids to feel that way as we can. You know what I'm saying? We got to inspire as many kids. Nick teaches fucking kids piano.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to think, of some other, I think Megan Wren gives lessons to kids.
Sarah Gork's always teaching. Tommy Lee's always teaching.
Right, man, right. So it's not like it's not happening. Man.
Yeah.
If
and even
a
with the
fucking
Critter
scumbag
Circus.
like Nick Heffron can, if Nick Bop is somewhere teaching your kid, he might be teaching your kid fucking conspiracy theories or some crazy shit. Who knows?
And yeah, he's been wearing that shirt for a couple of days. That's how he likes it, man. He's
God.
he's a rock and roll king, man. Keeps it all black. I've never seen that dude wear shorts. That's how rock and roll Nick Heffron is. I've never seen him wear shorts.
He's freshy fresh. But he, it's fucking dark t-shirt, dark jeans.
Yes.
Every fucking day. You know what I'm saying? Like every now and then, we'll do some, we call it like Bot Boys. Like Bot Boys is like the more colorful Sunday drives. Like like regular Sunday drives are just moody ass, like Adam and Nick.
Yeah.
But like Bot Boys is like, we put on like some shirts, button them all the way up, some print shirts, some fucking, you know what I mean? But I don't know how we got there.
No, man, that's because like you got to go through the waves of it, and all the hats that you're asked to wear as an artist.
Man,
the biggest thing that you do at the end of the day is share it. Like it's this calling to milk your soul for things that you can give to someone else in a 30-minute set or a couple of years worth of friendship. And within that, I'd like to tell you, I love you to death, brother. It's been such a pleasure to have you on today. Is there anything that you'd like to promote on the way out?
I want to tell a story.
Yeah.
I want to tell a quick story. As for promotion,
oh my God.
Our next outing is a show that we took last minute. It's a kind of a pop-up for us, and it's at a place called Comet, The Comet in Northside, and it's on... That's right, it's a local show. We've played more local shows this year. You asked for them, we delivered. More Cincinnati shows this year than the last 5 years, and we're only halfway through the year. But here in Cincinnati, coming up, we have June 21st at the Comet. We have June 26th at Barnstock. Gang. And then we have some Chicago, some Muncie, some Indianapolis. Or no, not Chicago. Muncie, Indianapolis. We have some other things that don't matter. We have, hey, let me throw this out there. July, that's Nashville. July 16th, Fountain Square, Cincinnati, Ohio. We're opening up for one of my personal favorite up-and-coming bands. They're about to pop. They're about to blow. Kississippi. So we have the privilege of opening up for Kississippi, who we're touring through, and it's going to be on Fountain Square. So that's what we have. Hey, here's a story that I wanted to share. And there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just going to share it to just close things out. I'm starting a new thing here at the Weekly Wave, and this segment is called The Closer, and just tell... I'm just freestyling.
Please.
So The Closer, you just tell a quick, inspiring story to close things out, to close out the Weekly Wave, and to keep us electrified until, throughout the next week. I told you earlier, off camera, that I love the stories of things. I mean, it's real important to me. Even though no one else will probably ever know it, but like I know it, and that fuels me as an artist. So most of the shit that you get to see might not be like my driving force, but I nerd out on some of the shit you don't get to see, and it's super inspiring to me. So I'm going to share a quick story, and it's about a song called My Disease that the Sunday Drives released last year. When I first wrote the song, I said, I don't think this song is done. And Nick said, no, it's fucking done. And I said, it has 30 words. You know me, I'm pretty vocally busy. I sometimes say 300 words in a verse. 30 words to an entire song. A 4-minute long, dragged out. 30 words, just a repeating 30 words. No chorus, no verse, no intro, no outro, just a moment to live in for probably too long. 30 words. And Nick said, no, it's done. Don't write any more parts. Don't write any more lyrics. The song is done. And I just trusted the other half of the band. And it ended up becoming kind of a staple at live shows. It ended up becoming a thing where people really, they lived in that moment with us, and it started to take. And become a tearjerker for a few people. And, that thing we talked about earlier. No, this isn't the clap song. This isn't the dance song. This is the soak this in song. You know what I mean? And this is the go there with us song. That kind of emotional roller coaster that we talked about. So when it's time to track for #Medicine Music Volumes 1 through 5, this is not a song that is on the track list. Again, Nick, who was like, no, we're definitely doing this song. And we both knew there's no way to, there's so much emotion and drab and just, it's such a feel. There's, it's definitely not in time. It's way off the click. You know what I mean? So there's no way to like cut this in a traditional sense. We're not going to be able to multi-track this. And after we decided that we were going to cut it, we didn't know how we were going to do it, but we did know that we were going to probably live track vocal and guitar together. And then from there, maybe see what happens and, build onto it or whatever, potentially. We show up at Ben Fisher's studio. Ben Fisher from A String of Hope. Shout out to Ben Fisher, who does a lot of really, really good work for the recovery community. And Ben has a really rad studio at his place. And we show up and there's one microphone stand. And there's a pencil mic on each side. And then there's just one vocal mic, just one omnidirectional vocal mic. And we walk in and we see that setup, and I instantly think, what is this setup for My Disease? Like, he knew what we were tracking that day, or what we were gonna, we're just gonna roll with the dice and kind of see what shook. And he said, no, it's for something, whatever, but like, what do you think about it? And I was just like, now leave this. And that day, me and Nick walked into the studio and set our stuff down. And within 7 minutes of being there, we walked up to the microphone, me on one side, Nick on the other side. We each had an acoustic guitar. We're this close to each other. This close, I'm just, staring at this motherfucker. And we played My Disease, one take, and perfect as fuck, wooden floor creaking, popping, guitars brushing, lots of noises. Definitely not the best version of the song we've ever played. But we stood across from each other and fucking bared it all. And by the end of the song, Nick had tears in his eyes and my hands were shaking. And we sat there and looked at each other and, bared it all. And I could give you My Disease. We could float on up to heaven or go on down to hell. And we lived in that moment together, right? One take, the first take. And we kept it. And we released it to the world. it went on an album. So that's just a cool little story of a time that we walked into a studio and 7 minutes later, one take, not done in one take, the first take. And we decided, because of what him and I had special and how we felt, how it made us feel playing it, that we were keeping it. And that's what we were going to give to the world. You can come see us live. We'll play it much better probably. But we kept that. And yeah, that's just the story. I just wanted to share that.
That's beautiful, man.
You know, I just wanted to share that because for a person like me who can sometimes be a little over analytical or maybe, dig into things a little bit too much. Sometimes the most organic, most vulnerable versions of ourselves or even just moments in our lives, you know what I mean, can produce like the most beautiful shit. So
absolutely, man. And as long as you keep on doing it, I'll always be a fan. I will always adore every second of it. But Adam Lee of Sundae Dries, everybody, thanks for coming, brother. Much love.
My total pleasure, man. This ain't Chick-fil-A either.
Hey.
My total fucking pleasure. I love you so much. I want to tell you that I love you so much. And I just really respect you and admire you. I told you this before. You're one of 5 people that make me nervous. You do. You make me fucking nervous. I respect your musicianship and your songwriting and just what a craftsman you are and what a performer you are. We don't have time for it right now, but we had to share a stage one time and go tit for tat, song for song, and you just completely kicked my ass. I've never forgot about this. But you're just someone that I love as a person. Your energy is irrefutable, dude. I mean, you're a fucking force. You really are. And I just love you so much, man. I appreciate you.
Man. I love you too.
Yeah.
Adam Lee, everybody. That's my dude. I love him dearly. Catch him on the road this summer. He's out playing shows with his duo partner, Nick Heffron, as Sundae Dries. They are phenomenal. Make sure you go listen. Okay, let's talk about the tour dates really quick. I don't got much time today, but we are on the road this week in the Northern Ohio area. We're going to be in Cleveland, Ohio on the 23rd at the East Shore Park Club starting at 7 o'clock. The 24th will be at Howard's H Club starting at 8 p.m. in Bowling Green, Ohio, and then the 25th we will be in Maumee, Ohio at the Village Idiot Show. Starts at 9 o'clock. Next Tuesday, the 28th, we're going to be in Nashville, Tennessee, making our debut at the Basement East. Never played down there. And then 6:30 at the Low Miami Brewing Company has been canceled. I am taking some engagement photos with my fiance, so I had to drop a date. So sorry about that, everybody. Local dates, I got the Blind Squirrel on Wednesday. We got some other things on the website. Make sure you take a look at them. Take care. Check it all out. Thanks for coming on, Adam. I love y'all. I'll catch you soon. Peace.